This Karen and her ugly hair.
I know.
I mean, we see it again later.
That hair style, just ever so slightly, a little bit more mousse. Joan Jett
The painting in question has been found.
of the woman in the Altogether with no ass cleavage.
Oh, there's really none.
There's
This
none.
this
Oh
woman
yeah,
does not poop.
this is a cone head, actually.
Nibs. First of all, she spills black tea on this woman's white sofa. Jesus, Jessica.
You know what? If those cushions were ruined, no loss.
No loss.
That's an ugly couch.
Who has a white couch, by the way?
Rich people.
So the cocaine won't show up.
Yes, that's why.
Tonight on Murder, She Wrote.
Well, now that we've finished carving up the artist, shall we start on the roast?
Could be. We're dealing with the as well as
Wonder what it
Hey,
tastes like.
I'm Victor Devon,
I'm petrified.
and
And
this
this
is
is Tonight
Tonight
on Murder,
Murder,
She
She
Wrote.
Wrote. Season 3, episode 17. Simon says, "Color me dead," which is a bit of a mouthful. And I don't know if they needed all of that, but
It's quite a title, yeah. Also, is there a character named Simon?
yes, Simon
Yes.
Thane is our artist character, which is one of the few times they've done that. We've seen them do that with what? The Christopher
Peabody.
Bundy?
Or Bundy, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Peabody, what am I thinking?
Well, you're thinking of Peabody could have died here. So similar.
That is
Similar.
exactly what I'm thinking, yeah.
But it doesn't happen a lot, and they love a pun. They do love a pun when they can get away with it. And
A good rhyme.
I think "Color Me Dead" would have actually probably been fine by
I
itself.
think that would have
actually.
been plenty, yeah. And then they wouldn't have to name him Simon, but you know. They like to put themselves in a very narrow space, so
You know.
to each their
Yeah.
own.
Well, it's sort of it's like that episode of Golden Girls where the only reason his name is Ernie is so that they can call it the impotence of being earnest. It's
That's
the
true.
only reason.
Which, see, that actually works for me because you need that whole phrase to
We do, but it's only the title.
to make the pun. Yeah.
And in the
They never
80s,
bring it
I
up.
don't think that you ever saw the name of the episode in like descriptions.
No, and they
That's a
didn't.
relatively new development.
It was just on scripts, right?
Yeah.
Essentially,
So
that's
usually
it.
they were just fun. They were just fun for people.
Mhm. Sort of
Um,
an inner joke for the production team
Right.
and cast and crew,
Right.
right?
right. And that's why
Yeah.
that's why sometimes like, oh, what's it called? The Golden Girls episode, the flu. It's just the flu.
It's
It's like
brilliant.
it's not particularly, yeah. Or I Love Lucy. There's an episode called Lucy is jealous of a girl singer.
Oh, right. We talked
Well,
about
that
this.
did, didn't we? And
And
it
she's
turns
not
out it's
even a
actually
singer.
a dancer. She's a dancer.
Yes.
Yeah,
So silly.
yeah.
Working titles.
But we're in Cabot Cove,
Back
and
to
we're
the
in a
Cove.
bookstore. Do you love a bookstore?
You know, I do. I really do love a bookstore. I like the smell of a bookstore. That sort of dry, papery smell. Yeah.
When you were living in New York, did you ever go to the Strand?
All the time.
Yeah,
All
that's
the
how
time.
I always view it. That's how I always view like the quintessential New York bookstores, the
It
Strand
really
for me.
is, yeah. Well, and I mean, you could order things on Amazon at the time then too, but I would specifically go into the Strand because it was an excuse to play around in the Strand.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, I assume is Strand still open?
It's a good question. I haven't been there in a few years, but I can't imagine it would close. That feels like such an institution, but
Well,
maybe
some things in New
some
York have,
ubiquitous things disappear. So
let me see, curious.
it looks
For
like they're
those of you
still around.
who are unfamiliar, the Strand is a bookselling institution in the West Village, right?
Union
It's
Square.
the West Union Square.
Yep.
I'm terrible with my neighborhoods, wherein you can go and you can spend a day or 20 minutes, depending on how much time you got. And the organization is something of a pile, as I
Oh, sure.
recall.
It's part of the fun, in
But
fact, is
yeah,
navigating. It's not, you don't have clean rows. Some are going sideways, diagonally, some are going parallel, perpendicular. And it's always packed, always, no matter
hmm
what time of
hmm
day, which is kind of
hmm
part of the experience, right? It makes me think of like You've Got Mail, right? A movie entirely about bookstores.
Well, yeah, in that one, I would sort of say that was a little bit more corner bookstore. That
True.
was more like a
This is
little
like
bit
a
more,
warehouse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd find like first editions mingling with like old, like, cheapy copies and things like that.
Hmm.
I would get large, so in 94 or so, I remember I got two substantially large in size, not large in thickness, Madonna but quote biographies, which are basically just
Ah,
glorified picture books.
absolutely.
Um,
Put it on the coffee table.
Basically, and they were like they had like maybe 150 words total, but I would just stare at them and go like because it was before the internet, so this was also like the
Oh, of
way of
course.
like, yeah,
It was your version of scrolling,
essentially, yeah,
going down
yeah.
that Instagram profile rabbit hole, right? Yeah,
And seeing
absolutely.
and seeing pictures of my favorite person, frankly, in a size that I had never seen before, frankly.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
um,
Actually, that's so funny you're talking about that because I cleaned out our basement recently and found all sorts of old books, like from the time I was a child. And I have to tell you, I had a little weepy moment because I thought these
mm,
things were lost forever. And they're just like beat up old books, but
mhm,
geez, they meant something to me. And I remembered each of them so distinctly once I saw them. It was Grover, the monster at the end of this book. Come
uh-huh,
on. We had an
yeah.
original little golden book of that, and I thought it was lost forever. And now it is in my possession again. And old textbooks, art books, things like that. Kind of forget what books mean to you sometimes until they
Yeah,
resurface,
well,
find your
some
life
from my
again.
childhood, yeah. Well, some from my childhood I still have, and then my best friend is a mom, and she became a mom, what, 6 years ago at this point. So I parted with a few, knowing that they
Hmm.
would have a good home. And I like gifting things because I like the idea of sort of existing in somebody else's household where they get wherever they
Yeah,
see it, they think of me. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
And also, I'm the kind of person who is like, let's listen to my music. So
Hmm.
I like that ability to sort of like influence other people's tastes,
Yeah.
or.
It's your way of sort of peeing on the environments around you, right?
It is. And
Come
so
on.
one of the things I had was Kermit is Grouchy, which was a Muppet Babies book.
Muppet
And it,
Babies. Wow.
yeah,
Love that
and it
show.
it was a small little hardcover, and it was basically about telling children that it's okay to wake up and not feel cheerful, or like it's okay to sort of like be unhappy and not necessarily know why.
Yeah.
And I remember that being like a very out of the box concept, even at that time. There's also a Simpsons episode that deals with Lisa and depression. And I have to feel like, as woke as we consider things to be nowadays, the little outliers that existed in our childhoods
Oh,
before
yeah.
the world went quote woke is sort of a nice reminder that no, there've always been, lampposts.
Yeah. Well, and we're millennial kids, so frankly, we grew up with some pretty dark material, right?
Sure,
I'm pretty pleased
sure.
with it. I was just listening to one of my favorite film podcasts called What Went Wrong, and they were talking about Labyrinth and sort of
Hmm.
dove into also how the millennial child generation, we had a lot more darker material, things like The Dark Crystal, things like The Never-Ending Story, where you deal with
Hmm.
these abstract concepts like depression in really, frankly, traumatizing ways. But sometimes I think like I'm glad I was exposed to those things as a child because they don't scare me as an adult as a result.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if your first exposure to trauma is a Don Bluth film, that's okay.
Yeah, it's
Like
okay.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's okay. And also some things are scary. Some things are scary.
Oh my
And
God. Don
there's
Bluth films
no.
are scary. The Secret of Nim, poor Mrs.
Hmm.
Brisby, she goes through hell. Holy
Hmm.
moly. Yeah.
And it's also, I don't we can also assign scary things that aren't meant to necessarily be scary too.
Yeah.
So I remember hearing The Phantom of the Opera, the title song. My parents were fans, and I remember hearing that song, and it scared me. That song scared me as a child.
Oh, that
So
booming gothic. No, 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 no,
yeah,
no, no, no. Yeah,
and
it's wild. It's very
specifically
Bach,
Michael
Requiem style.
Crawford's voice,
Mm,
um, and him laughing, and that dun, 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 dun,
hmm.
at
All
the
the
end of Music of the
dissonance.
Night. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
It's
alarming.
unsettling. It's
So
unsettling when you're accustomed to really clean, neat form and harmony, and then you get something like that, and you have to sort of confront, why does this provoke me in this way? Yeah.
so before we get into this episode, since we've already traveled down this lane, how was your Miyazaki experience going?
Great question. I finished all 25 movies last night around 1 a.m.
Hooray,
It
hooray.
was, I feel so accomplished right now. I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of thoughts and a lot of surprises and a lot of things that were better than I expected, a lot of things that I didn't enjoy like I expected to.
You're doing a
Maybe,
retrospective, right?
yeah, what I'm going to do is sort of a ranking and talk about why I think things belong. I mean, ranking is so nonsense anyway, right? Like if you love it, you love it. If you don't, you don't. And so
Yeah.
what does
Well,
my
it's sort
opinion
of
have
what
to
we
do with
do.
anything, right? But it's what
It's what
I
we do
want to
with
talk
the
about, yeah, because I adore them.
our what
I
do we call
ended
our
with
postmortems?
yes,
Like that.
exactly. It's our take, damn it, and you're gonna listen or not, I don't care. But
Basically.
I finished with that obscure one that was actually produced by Ghibli, but was made entirely in France and Europe, called The Red Turtle.
Hmm.
And it was a 120-minute movie, and I was in it from the second it started. And when it was
Mm.
over, I was sad. It was so
Mm.
incredibly gorgeous and moving and beautiful. Just the way it was animated, it's unlike any other Ghibli movie. There's something really plausible and tangible in the way people move and how they exist in the space. It's
Hmm.
basically a movie about a castaway, some character, we don't even know his name. He's stranded on
Mm.
an island and he keeps trying to escape. But every time he tries to escape, his raft gets torn apart by a red turtle. And then him and the turtle start developing a certain kind of relationship. And then it goes from there. And it totally went a direction I never expected. And
Mm.
it was such a meditation on being happy and
Mm.
satisfied with where you are. And I found myself examining my own life as a result of it. It was so beautiful. I hope folks find it. It's obscure. I did have to rent it because it's not streaming anywhere for free. But 3.99 on Amazon, maybe one of the best 3.99s I've ever spent on a film. It was just magical. So my
Do you
experience with
own
the
it now or
Ghibli,
did you rent it?
I just rented it and I
Yeah,
wish I had
rented.
bought it. I wish I had bought it because it's worth buying. So it was a great way to
They
end that
should
sort of
allow you
journey.
to pay the difference
Isn't
if you rented it
isn't
and
that
then
the
say no,
truth?
let me keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They should let
Well,
you rather than having to pay all over again.
totally. We'll see. I might have to add it to my online library. But it was a great experience. I'm so happy to have watched them all, and I can't wait to talk about it more once I have a chance to actually organize my thoughts about it. But
Right.
those
Well,
movies are
that'll be on
wild.
YouTube.
Yeah, I'll put that on YouTube, and I'll
Cool.
absolutely update this audience when I do. But that'll probably be several weeks out at least.
Cool. Well, that's
But
also, folks,
Mama got a plan.
if you listen to the podcast on Spotify or Audible or wherever, we're also on YouTube. So if that's also something
Hmm.
that you want to check out, go to Petrified Presents, I believe it is,
Petrified Presents. That's correct.
at YouTube, and you'll be able to access not only these episodes, but also any of Petra's drag content too, which is a lot of fun. I love your cooking stuff.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would love more eyes to get on it because I spend a lot of time doing them.
It's true. And your Christmas special is up there still, right?
It sure is my
That's
2020
right.
Christmas special, which is maybe one of my favorite things I've ever done creatively.
We watch it almost every year.
That's
I
amazing.
think we watched, yeah, we watched it this past Christmas. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're looking for
Uh,
esoteric jokes and idiocy, you know where to go.
well, because also you can tell your references. So if we are of a certain age, and you and I mean, I'm a little older than you, but we have a lot of the same 80s references or like
Sure. Our
Playhouse
cultural
or
benchmarks are very much the
yeah.
same. Yeah.
So and part of that is because I was a younger person, I was the youngest for a long
Hmm.
time with older siblings. I still had access to everything that was like quote beneath me
Sure.
and also there was a certain time, and still is, I'm sure, but I feel like there was a certain time where material that was written for children was kind of for more for was aimed at children that but was written for older, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
That
one
is
of the
so
reasons
much
that
of that
we
generation, right?
yeah
And frankly,
yeah
what a nice sort of tie-in. The Ghibli movies that I watched, I was
yeah
gagged at some that I thought were like going to be these cute little kid movies. Oh, baby, they're not.
Yeah, no, I mean they're fairy tales and fairy
Yeah,
tale. And that's the other thing too, is that one of the reasons that the Bluth and the Henson and etc. filmmakers is because they were influenced by the Grimm fairy tales, which
absolutely.
are dark and twisted and fucked up. So yeah.
And just scary. And you know what? Maybe that's where a generation of horror movie lovers, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean
We've been
that's
built
also
and
very
wired
European.
to want to be
That's also
scared.
very
Yes,
European because ghost stories and gothic horror and like ghost stories for Christmas kind of concepts is a thing. Like there's, I mean, A Christmas
totally.
Carol is a Victorian ghost story. Like it's and shit like that can get scary too. So
Quite.
yeah. It is funny, however, a lot of the times that nowadays that people suggest that they were afraid of as kids. It's not that I don't believe them, but I do find that they're sort of leaning in a
A
little
little
bit. I
bit.
think the power of suggestion is a strong one.
Hmm.
But I do find it interesting that it's the uncanny valley that very frequently is a through line. So, for example, the ghost doll from Muppet Christmas Carol,
Yes. One that
or
was they filmed
yeah,
separately. I think, you know, they actually, I think this is how I
they filmed
remember
it
it. They
underwater,
filmed
I
it
believe.
underwater. Yeah.
Hmm
I love that character. I think it's so haunting and eerie and unsettling, and
hmm
everybody else hates it. And I'm always like, ooh, that little bitch is on screen. Let's watch instead of
art.
hard.
Well, this is
Anyway,
actually really, yeah, this episode is about artists
yeah.
and the power of their work. This is a complicated episode and is a deceptively complicated episode because it seems fairly by the book. You get a dead person, you get the people around him that are all potential suspects,
Hmm.
you get a service worker as a main suspect, which is, speaking of Victorian horror, that's a common
Oh,
trope. So
100.
there's a
Yeah.
reason we have the butler did it concept. Small town values, sort of
And
like
frankly,
the
small
real
town
yeah.
politics that create
Mm,
class systems. There are so
yeah.
many class issues in this that I can't wait to talk about.
The wife just the girl will take care
The
of it
girl, oh my God, over and over again.
over and over
Or
again. And
saying,
the and then immediately Jessica saying her name. Like I do appreciate that. Like
Jessica is
that's like
always the advocate. She always sees people for who they are and recognizes them.
yeah.
Even when she's in the room,
Oh
they
yeah.
talk to each other and
Oh
say
yeah.
the girl
Oh
instead
yeah.
of referring to Irene, who's standing
Yep.
right next to them serving them food.
hmm
Gags me.
hmm
Gags me. The 80s were wild.
Yeah. And it's also really interesting because Cabot Cove, while idyllic, is sort of viewed as like a podunk kind of like
Hmm.
unsophisticated kind of sea town because
Yeah.
it's working class. And yet the two main guest stars here, the plot surrounds.
Yeah. The two
Um,
families sort of centered here. Yeah.
right. One
Couples.
is rich, straight
Hmm.
up rich. And rich in a specific way, because it's art. And art is always going to
Right.
be a little more different than an oil baron or,
It has
someone
its
who
own sort of
invests.
flavor of new money in a way, right?
Hmm
But it
hmm
does they don't escape sort of
And
the
pretension.
pitfalls of being pretentious and
Yeah.
haughty
Well,
and
as an
judgmental
artist, you
and
kind of like
classist.
lean into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we saw a mother and child, or a woman and child, walk with a bike very authoritatively down the street. We don't yet know who they are because we
Hmm.
immediately shift to
A
this.
spooky guy in a truck watching them.
I know.
And he is kind of if this guy were hanging around me, I would probably want to turn the other way. He is kind of
Yeah,
he's kind of scary.
he's gawking for one thing.
He's intense. He's
Yeah.
intense. Just his energy is very intense around them. Cut to the
But
bookstore.
we meet the Thanes. Simon Thane and his wife, what's his name? What's her name?
Eleanor. Eleanor,
Eleanor,
played by
thank you.
Diane Baker, who has such a recognizable face.
This is another situation where I talk about this a lot, where this show explores kind of judgmental, but very frequently just as it is, cross-generational relationships.
Yeah.
Because even his wife is a bit younger than he is. Thane
Yeah.
is older than Jessica,
Yeah,
I
and he
think we're
reads
meant to
that way
believe.
too. They're giving us all
And
this
she,
information. He likes
while
to be private. He doesn't get out. He's antisocial. She's more outgoing.
right, that's Foster Brooks,
Yeah.
who I'm trying to think of why I know him.
He has a face.
He does. Well, he does. He does. He has that sort of recognizable sort of well, he was in a billion things that I've seen, but like very
Oh,
quickly, like he was
character
in
work
I
all
Drew
all over
Genie,
the place.
Bewitched.
Yeah. But like one episode, 3 episodes, 5 episodes of
Right.
various things.
Which
There's
usually
nothing
tells me
that's
that he's either a
landed.
comedian or a stage worker
Yeah.
very frequently. Anyway, very distinctive voice. And Eleanor, his wife, indicates to Jessica that while they are longtime friends, that they frequently go in and out of Cabot Cove because they also live elsewhere.
Yeah. And there's this sort of like subplot that they're remodeling a guest home that they have at the is it at the beach or something? So she's always away during the week and he's at
Right,
home by himself working on his art.
right, right.
There's
And
also
oh,
like
oh,
I want to point out there's a little tension between them even in the opening sequence, right? And this
right.
episode plays that tension a lot. I don't know that it ever really delivers or resolves in the way that I want it to. And I know it's probably there so that we as viewers have questions about their relationship. But again, I don't know
And
that it
her
ever really
suspectability.
lands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a little disappointing
Um,
because it is intriguing. I want to know like why is she looking this way when they're talking about their relationship? But
she is an imposing figure. As bitchy
Mhm.
as she is, well, that's the thing. She's not really bitchy when she
No.
downplays Irene's part. She's dismissive, and not even necessarily dismissive. Like she's just,
It's
it's
almost
not in
nothing.
her
It's
head.
worse than being mean or cruel. It's almost ignoring that she exists in a way, other
Right,
than as
right.
the girl. It's strange.
And
I
folks
can't
may
tell if I
recognize
like
her
her or
from,
not.
yeah. But folks may recognize her as Senator Love the Suit from Silence of the Lambs. Actually, she is the mother of one of the kidnapped girls, and has a fabulous scene with Anthony Hopkins. But she's bristly, but she's not. I don't know. It is a class thing, and it's such a decorum thing. Like you see it in Titanic, where it's just some of them are assholes just for the sake of being assholes, like Rose's
Hmm.
mom, and then some of them are just that's just how they're wired. They don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like she just sort of floats in that space rather than has any real malice or ire toward the people around her. She just is trained to behave that way.
Mm-hmm.
She's very
Mm-hmm.
tight-lipped, she's very discreet, but then we also see her sort of cry and open up later, right? But again, there's something about it that doesn't ever really deliver for me. I want more from her.
Well, I
I
guess
think she's
we're meant
underused.
to get that their relationship is. Oh, we also she has a copy of Dirge for a Dachshund. They love that prop. There
Jessica
seems
says
to
to
be
her, by the way, like, I thought I sent you every one of my books. Why is she buying it at the store? I don't know. I don't know.
he's getting it for a friend.
They need a reason to talk to each other at the bookstore, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Although it doesn't really matter that it's a bookstore. It's just I guess just a reminder that Jessica is famous because that
As
could have
if
been at
we
the
needed to
supermarket.
know.
It could have been
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah.
Anywhere, anywhere. Oh
Actually, that's a valid
gosh.
point. I don't think we ever go to the supermarket with Jessica.
I would love to see a little market.
A little grocery store. I
That'd be
don't think we
cute.
do,
I
really.
I have a hunch that grocery stores are not very plausible sets because you have to to show us it's a grocery store, you have to bring in perishable items that are not reusable,
Sure,
right? So I think
sure.
that they probably avoided in production because, I mean, look at the supermarkets in the Golden Girls. They're like closets.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one kind of tin foil next to one can of
Next to each
beans.
other. Yeah, right
Yeah,
next to each other.
so
Yeah,
bizarre.
yeah. Although we do get a couple. We get a couple of fresh fruit moments with Thumping the Melon
Uh-huh.
and the Nectarine.
Hmm.
So we get to the police station where Tupper is talking to Irene Rutdlege and her son.
This is the woman and child we saw in the beginning, Irene and
The
her little
boy is
boy,
named. What's the boy's
Tommy.
named?
Tommy
Tommy.
Rutledge. Yeah.
Tommy.
He's a sweetie. Oh my gosh, look at those big ears.
He was in The Last Starfighter, and
Oh.
I believe has quit acting. Yeah, his last credit is 96.
Yeah, it's been a
So
minute.
he does not he teaches in Orange County. So he might still be
Oh, he's your
he might still
neighbor.
be. He might still be. Oh, that was a while ago. This is who knows? Who knows? But so Tommy found a bike abandoned
Hmm.
and brought it home. Irene said, "This doesn't belong to you, so we're going to take it back." And we find out that it was actually left there by some other kid who is now accusing them of stealing the bike
Oh my
because they
God.
are poor,
Fuck this
basically.
Karen and her ugly hair.
I know, I know.
Oh
What
my
is that little, what
God.
was that little poof? What is that?
I mean, we see it again later on another character in this episode, so this hair must have been
It's
really in
better in
vogue
red.
at the moment.
It's better in the red,
I
I will say.
suppose, I suppose. And it looks better on a heart-shaped face later as well. This woman does not wear it well.
No.
She is truly a bitch. What a
Yeah, she's
nasty,
awful.
nasty lady. She's basically, again, a classist saying like, "Oh, you're trash because you're poor and you must be criminals."
Right.
Very luckily, Jessica and Amos are incredibly gracious to these poor folks. What do you think of this mother character, Irene, played by Tess Harper?
Tess Harper. Well, I will say this is another episode that does frequently have a line that is said in this household, which is, "I said it's nothing, go back to bed."
Uh-huh.
She is a little shrill.
Yes.
I go back and forth on her in that regard because it's plausible, it's believable. I think this is another episode. I think they maybe pack just one plot element a little too many
There's a
in.
lot of plot points here. There's a lot of like
And
secret identities.
right,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
her
She, yeah.
storyline with the son, I feel is just one apple too many in the basket. Just one
One
too
plot
many.
twist too much. Yeah, there's one point where like
Yeah.
another twist, another twist. That being said, when I first started watching this to prepare for today, I have a lot of notes. Like she is, she is going through it. She is
Oh
on
yeah.
edge, right? And she plays it so beautifully. And we'll find out more why. But this is a woman who is carrying the entire weight of the world on her shoulders and doesn't really have the resources to do any better.
Yeah. She's I don't know. I
It's an
feel
interesting performance. Sometimes I think it really works, and sometimes it's like, wow, like that moment. I told you to go back to bed.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
like, geez, we might have to listen to it.
Oh, we will. We will. But I do appreciate her purpose here because again, this show does not shy away from talks of race, talks of gender inequality, talks
Hmm.
about things like that. And even things that you and I have later referred to as sort of
Yeah,
gay metaphors, even if they don't do it straight up.
yeah.
Her element here with Tommy and Jessica coming to her, it doesn't come across as pandering. I appreciate that in the
No.
writing.
Well, she
Jessica is
says,
kind-hearted, but
yeah.
not
She's
yeah.
bright and she knows how to meet them where they are because this whole incident, this poor kid is the only kid in town who doesn't have a bike, right? So Jessica has an old bike in the garage. She says, I'm gonna bring it over. And immediately they say, no, we can't take this. We can't pay for it, and we don't take charity. And Jessica probably in the moment finds a way
Mhm.
to shift what she's saying and what she's doing there to actually make sure that this kid gets this bike and she's not insulting or
Right.
disrespecting these people. And I think
And just, oh
Jessica,
no, how embarrassing
oh,
for
oh,
me to not say
oh,
that it's actually meant to be in payment for him to do chores around the house,
yeah, I need him to pull weeds for me.
which frankly
And
she does. Her rose garden is neglected, as we've
yeah,
discussed.
because she's on the road so often, no
I
time.
know.
Her
I
green thumb
know.
is suffering. But I
Uh,
think Jessica and Amos, I'm gonna give Amos some credit. I think he's a really decent person in this episode to these people. And it's so nice because
yes.
Amos is such a buffoon sometimes, but I found myself admiring him.
And Seth isn't in this episode. And
He
I
is.
find that
He
to
does
be,
show up
well,
because he gives us a time of death, but
he's not a Watson figure. So
no,
he's
he's
not
not.
invited to dinner with Jessica for one thing.
Hmm. No,
So
instead it's our artist, his wife, the art manager who is a queen,
yes.
and then this
Yes.
other
Excuse me
couple.
for living Anita Bryant all the way up there.
Honestly,
Yes.
look at even how he's dressed at the dinner table here.
It's
Choices.
choices. Pass around, party bottom.
That's him.
What is his name? Cash? Is that him?
Yes. I think,
His name is,
yeah. Yes,
or
that's right.
Felix. Yeah, it must be Cash.
No, no, no.
Cash.
Cash is the guy. Cash is the guy who was lingering around the mother and child.
Then it must be Felix.
It's
Oh, of
Felix,
course
yeah.
it's Felix. Felix is a big old queen
Felix
name anyway.
sure
Why
is.
wouldn't they? He was in Fiddler on the Roof, Boys in the Band. Oh, he might be gay. He might actually be gay. Wouldn't that be nice to see an actual queen played by a queen?
Well, and there's something about funny you say that because he is clearly a queen, but he's not like caricature flamboyant like, well, excuse me for living Anita Bryant, right?
Sure, he's not
He seems
swishy per se.
naturally feminine
Oh,
and
yeah, he died as many of us did in 1988.
oh,
Yeah,
that was right after this then.
very
Wow.
soon after. Yeah, he may have already been sick. Yeah, he was in Boys in the Band, Fiddler on the Roof. He was in theater. He really was.
Yeah.
He did quite a bit. And he is in the film version of Boys in the Band
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So, well, I meant he's in both the stage and the,
Hmm.
but yeah. And he's in Bride of Boogity. Oh my God, I have to go back and look at that. Have you ever seen the Boogity Man, the Disney original
Yes,
movie?
with John Astin.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah, yeah,
character does he
yeah.
play? Oh, you said he's
Uh,
in the sequel,
he's in
The
Walter
Bride of.
Witherspoon, whoever that is. Bride of Boogity. Hilarious. Anyway,
I love the
uh,
Boogeyman. Man. I think I could quote the whole thing back to you.
oh, he was nominated for an Oscar. He was nominated as Motel
Oh
or Modal.
shit,
Modal? Is he Motel or Modal in Fiddler? How do you pronounce that?
modal.
Modal?
I think I have to admit, Fiddler is not one of my faves.
Well, damn.
Sorry. Anyway, back to the dinner party.
Yes, the dinner party is now I have to say these figures here, including our would you call them yuppies?
Yes,
The couple here? Is that what that would be this age?
absolutely. They're very interested in investing in this art.
So
There's this
they're the
whole
kind of
conversation
class
here. Yeah.
they're the kind of class that's more of the investing on the rich side of
Hmm.
things. One of them, Mr. Selby, is played by Dick Sargent, aka the other Darren from
Error number
Bewitched,
two.
and
The
our
wife characters
our
Ann
lady here,
Dusenberry.
Anne Dusenberry, who we have actually seen on the show previously,
We sure have.
and I'm trying to remember when
Or have we seen her yet?
she. No, we saw her in Murder by Appointment only. She was our Elizabeth
She was
Gordon,
Elizabeth.
strangled and
Yes.
portrait mangled. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. She gives me just ever so slightly, not really, but just I confused the two with Linda Purcell, who is in Murder at the Oasis and a few other things, and then
Oh
Matlock's first
yeah,
daughter, just a little bit for
just a
some
little bit.
reason.
Yeah.
Um,
Side note, Ann Dusenberry is the spitting image of a friend of mine, except my friend has like jet black hair. But when I watch this episode, I
mm,
see my friend Jessica all over it.
oh,
So, hi
that
Jessica.
hair, that hair style, just ever so slightly, a little bit more mousse. Joan Jett,
That's
if that
it.
was black, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
This is that poof
bad
on top,
reputation.
straight on the side business that we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Not quite as severe as
No, this is
our first one.
much more subdued, but
You
it
know
is giving
why?
mullet. It is giving mullet.
One is a local haircut, and this one is she got it done in the
She
city.
went to New York or Boston. Yeah. She got money.
That's no Casper,
Take that.
Wyoming hair job.
Take that, Karen bitch.
Ah,
You'll never compete.
so we learn, I don't know if we knew actually yet, but that Irene coincidentally is the housekeeper, cook, and maid, which technically are three different jobs for the Thanes. And she is working over dinner. Jessica's the only one to thank her by name.
Oh,
Everybody else sort of exists around her.
I think we need to back up and play a little bit of this scene after that little
Certainly.
interlude break because this is what we're talking about.
Oh, and I love that. Dick Sargent's character says class dinner
Thank
Eleanor,
you, George.
as
He
if
says what?
Eleanor was the one
Oh, I
who made
know.
it.
First class dinner, Eleanor.
Thank you, George. Actually,
She's
the
right
girl
there.
did everything.
The girl did
Must give
everything.
us her number.
She's walking around the table. You must give us her number.
Oh, George,
Ask her. She's right in front of you,
tell me
bitch.
I noticed what a purist Carol has become in only a month. He
Ah,
gave up that vile cigarette smoke.
All rumors to the contrary, I value in
sorry,
your outfit.
So
he's standing
funny.
up like Ernest
Wow.
Hemingway in like this rumpled sweater
With
and
his
pipe
decanter of liquor and pipe, yeah.
brandy.
Especially old and dear friends.
So he is a successful, I don't know if we really even said it. He is a very successful painter.
Very successful.
Um,
And in fact, most of the
and
dinner conversation is about how much his work is worth, which feels a little
yeah,
rude to go over to someone's house for dinner and then just talk about how much money their work is worth and how they're happy to have invested in it. Is that
it's
weird to
again,
you? I find it
it's more of
very
that
odd.
removal of self. If
Yeah.
you think about it, it's very similar to how they treat Irene. She is reduced to her qualifications and capabilities rather than who she is as a human being. He is reduced similarly,
Yeah.
which is probably why we're meant to believe that he was so kind to her
Right.
off the record,
Hmm.
and why we're also meant to believe that he was having an affair with her.
Right. They try to plant that
There's
seed.
this there's this moment here where Thane is raising a toast. I just want to hear a little bit of it. You can't see it, audience at home, but there is a world of acting happening in the eyes from some of these
The
characters.
faces are facing right now.
Oh, first of all, actually, before we get to
May I
this,
tell them?
he has just raised a glass to his wife for all
Hmm.
things that are great for him to Eleanor. The last one to take a sip, and a very pained sip, if you pay attention to it, is our Ann Dusenberry, aka Carol, at the
Hmm.
table.
And she has big
She,
old
that,
eyes too. They betray
she
her.
takes a moment.
Hmm.
And I are leaving in 2 weeks for 1 month in Italy.
A second honeymoon.
Oh, how lovely.
The man's a veritable fountain of creative juices.
Why, Eleanor? Now who's being secretive? You didn't even tell me your
The eyes
friend.
back and forth. So Carol is more hurt than she's indicating. And Eleanor, in my view, almost is like closest friends. In my view,
She's like social climber. Stay
it
away.
doesn't even look like she's like, oh, mea culpa. She's Laura like,
Yeah.
you felt you were entitled to that information, honey? Like,
Well, and
oh,
another layer to this, again, what I sort of mentioned earlier is that Eleanor does not feel totally engaged in the toast or even the praise for her as the partner. There's something about her that feels very like uncomfortable in that moment. And again, no payoff later for that. I get what they're doing, but it feels like you said, there's a lot happening here that maybe we could have trimmed some of those ideas.
Right. Well, because then he would have allowed you to marinate a little bit more with some of the others,
Exactly.
frankly. So before we get into some of that, actually, Irene is
Yeah.
back home at 1:10 a.m., wakes up Tommy while she is loudly rubbing her.
Scrubbing blood off of her hands and dress.
Mom, what's wrong? Nothing. Go back to bed. But there's blood. I cut myself. It's nothing. Go
And you
back
know.
to
Jeez. Chill out,
So
girl.
I know,
She
but this is
screams at this
important
kid.
because he sees when she gets home,
Hmm.
and that's going to be important because it was 1:10. We actually see it twice. We see it on her clock in the kitchen, and also there happens to be a police officer who sees her as she walks by, and
Hmm.
he's in his patrol car, and he notes what time it is, which is
Right.
1:09,
Right.
which indicates she lives less than a minute away from the Thanes,
Yeah.
which is also really interesting considering how
They're
destitute they
rich
are.
as fuck, and she can walk home
Yeah.
at 1 a.m. and it's not a
Yeah.
problem.
No.
Also, if I were Thane and this woman was working for me, I'd give her a ride home for God's sakes. So maybe not as good as we think.
Well, no, he's not. He's an opportunist. And he's a
Yeah. And he's
complicated
dead
figure
now, by the
because
way.
he's dead now. Oh yeah, yeah. So Tupper and Seth are at the Thane household in
Studio.
his
It's
studio.
it's like a shed out back or something. He has an art
Right.
studio.
Stanza de letter. He has allowed himself to be stabbed with what looks like the roast knife
Correct.
from
We've seen a
dinner
lot of
last
knives. We
Sunday.
saw the dinner. We saw the knife carving the roast at dinner. We saw Cash Logan outside with a knife, looked kind of like a
Mm.
hunter's knife.
Oh, we did sort of glaze by it. Cash, the guy who's leering at Irene,
He's fully stalking
confronted
her. He's
her. He
fully
confronted
stalking
her
her.
while she was hanging wash,
Yes.
shortly before Jessica showed up with the bike. And clearly there's some back and forth that we'll get more on. But
Do you know what he said to her in that moment?
mm,
About her son. That's a fine looking boy you got there. Creepy!
yeah, yeah.
I wish it goes
There's this
somewhere.
great acting moment from Jessica here where every once in a while we're reminded
Oh,
that she's still deep in mourning
this
for
is a
Frank.
beautiful scene. Beautiful. You want to hear it?
Yeah, sure. She's glancing around his studio now, and she finds his terry cloth robe.
And an old cigarette lighter inside.
As if he was just going to walk in, put on his smock, and light up his pipe. One of the hardest things about losing a husband is all the little things he leaves behind. Sooner or later, when the pain subsides, you have to put him away.
It's a beautiful moment. It's also insane because she's full on
Hmm.
monologuing while this woman is sitting there sniffling over her dead husband. It's
Yeah.
it's just a little
In a different
insane.
room, however. I will say it does make me care about Eleanor a little bit more. Like, oh shit,
Yes,
this
right.
is a
This is her
big deal.
husband. This is a real deal, which a
She
lot of
is
times we glide right
in
by.
deep grief, right?
We very frequently
Me
glide
too.
by the grief because we don't have time in the plot.
Right.
But here, the death has happened so early, frankly,
Hmm.
that we get to
We
linger
have time to care.
over motivations.
Yeah.
Felix is there. Of course he is. And Felix is also an opportunist because he's
Oh yeah. Keeps talking about
inquisitive about
protecting the
his,
interests of the estate.
yes, and
We see
his
him doing some less than ethical things later
honorable.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants his commission.
Can you blame him?
Not
I mean,
particularly.
when your
No, we
meal
get a
ticket
little bit of that.
croaks,
We
what
get
are
a
you gonna
little bit of
do?
that in the Cesar Romero episode too.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
mean, talk
absolutely.
about all the little things you leave behind. I mean, these are valuable pieces of work that are suddenly, you know, more valuable, like tomorrow. Like it's
Hmm.
a big deal.
Hmm. Yeah, he wants to inventory all of these works to make sure Everything is good to go. What we didn't mention already was that everything was set up to paint in that studio, but there was no canvas on the easel.
Right, and that's odd.
Very peculiar.
Um,
Do you
it's
paint at
not the
all?
oddest thing in the world. I don't, but
Yeah.
it's not the oddest thing in the world, but it's so out of the realm of possibility that he would have done all of that before
Mhm.
picking up a canvas that Jessica means makes it a clue. It doesn't have to be that
Sure.
severe a clue, but every once in a while, Jessica gets this real bee in her bonnet about the way things are done.
I'm going to defend her here because I actually do oil paint. I've oil
Okay.
painted for over 20 years. And frankly, oil is really difficult to work with. It's incredibly difficult to clean. So they kind of run with that here, right? But the
Mm,
fact that everything was set up like that and there isn't a canvas, oil you work on for a long time. You don't paint it in
mm.
one day and then let it dry. It just doesn't, the medium
There would
doesn't
be
work that
something
way.
there.
There would be something there, especially since he talked about working on one piece of work that could be the best of his career. So, in fact, Jessica's observation is really astute and accurate here.
Mm,
So, I agree. I think she gets into something about a lighter not being the right kind of lighter to light a pipe later. That I think is a little nonsense.
yeah,
But the painting itself, that is really necessary because
I buy
oil
it.
tedious. So,
Mm. Even if it was the very first time you were putting oil to paint, what if he just hadn't yet put up that fresh canvas yet?
well, I know, but they keep talking about how he was working
I
on
know.
one piece of work. So, but you have a point.
I'm joking. It's just one of those things where it's so Jessica sort of paints it, sort of, so to speak, sort of takes this sort
But
of logical conclusion to such a
yes,
degree of like people aren't she's what it is that there's a psychological perspective is that people don't change and people don't do things differently. People are
that's
consistent.
true. And she
And
assumes that this is all
any
common
element of
knowledge too. Like
inconsistency,
we
yeah,
should all know this.
any element of inconsistency
Diet
is a
Coke and rum.
huge red flag. People are not what's the word? Not unreliable. Um, I'm trying to think of what it is, but they people don't surprise you, basically,
Oh
whatever that
yeah,
is
sure.
that that they always behave the way you expect them to.
Hmm.
And that's just not true. There is chaos in the world.
Yeah,
And sometimes the show discusses it, but invariably, any outline of or any painting outside, again, painting, I can't help it. Any activity out of the ordinary is a clue.
it
And it's
must
just
be.
that's not how life
Well,
is. That's just
and
not how life is very
it's
frequently.
not. And we have to make it that way in this cozy mystery series because
Yeah,
otherwise we don't
yeah,
have clues, right? And we don't have the
yeah,
time to go into a full police
yeah.
investigation. So I guess we have to sort of simplify it down to that. But you're absolutely right. I'm gonna drink my whiskey how I like, Jessica.
Yeah, yeah. You don't. Real drinkers don't drink it with Diet Coke. Well,
Yeah.
she's
What if
not a
you're
real
diabetic,
drinker.
She's
She's a stupid ingenue. Like,
I
what do you
know.
want from her? I
She's
know. You don't get jet
barely
lag
past
going from
college.
east to west.
She was doing
What?
cake stands last week. What are you talking about?
What? Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. So,
So they went over to Irene's because they knew she was there that night, and
she's
Irene had
packing.
all these boxes packed to move, and they found some of Simon's drawings of her
Uh,
signed in her stuff
yeah,
to leave.
they are very nice
They're
drawings.
beautiful. They do look like her too. I wish
They
she'd take
do.
her hair out of that ugly bun, but
Well, she's a worker. She's used to
I
have
guess.
keeping it out of her face
I guess.
at a moment's notice.
And I hate to criticize what she's wearing, but ooh, ooh.
Tommy immediately comes to her defense, as they do frequently in this show. The young
Mhm.
people, that little boy with the bat in the circus
Yes.
episode, it comes to mind.
Yes. Hmm. We get a lot of little boys, don't we, who like have to
Scarlet
stand up for their
women
parents or
and their
yeah.
children. Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
I
That will
love
also come up
that.
again in
How
the Jonathan
poetic.
Brandis episode too.
Yeah. Hmm.
And he casts doubt at the time when she arrived. He says no, she did come home at midnight. And
Right.
no, she did not.
What's interesting here is that Jessica and Amos and all of the police folk here, they know that she's lying, but they don't call her on it yet. It's very interesting. Amos is about to, but then Jessica kind of holds him back because she wants to figure things out first before they make a broad accusation.
Well, also calling someone a liar is no way to get a confession,
Oh no.
especially if actually the time is not necessarily the most important thing.
Yeah. Because what did Seth say? He was murdered between midnight and 2, something like
Yeah.
that. And Eleanor said she went to
Time of death
bed.
is hard to be clear
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Especially if you're stabbed in the chest.
Right. And I learned about how difficult time of death is through Death Becomes Her when she goes down the stairs and he says, it's not actually a real science.
Yes.
Is there a way
pushed
for
me
them to
down
find out
the
that she fell
stairs.
before or after you called me? Like, no, you wouldn't actually really be able to tell.
Yeah.
Cash is back, and
Oh,
he's got this salacious photo
the painting. The painting in question has been found. And what is
slashed. The
it?
face is missing.
It's a nudie girl.
It is with no ass cleavage, even though that blanket is very below her lower back.
Look at that paperweight on the desk. It's just covering up where the ass cleavage would be.
Um,
Very, very carefully placed there.
yeah.
Oh, there's really none.
There's
This
none.
this
Oh
woman
yeah.
does not poop.
No, this is a cone head, actually.
Nibs.
But it's that sort of classic holding a blanket, turning behind you from the back, girl with the pearl earring but nude. I'm always reminded of Helen Hunt in As Good as It Gets when she's in the bathtub and
Yes,
Great Kinnear
yes.
draws her.
Oh, and she like lowers the
Mhm.
towel so you can see her crack.
Just a little, so you can
Yeah,
see her
just a little bit.
exactly,
It's
which
very
is, I
cute.
guess, this model hadn't done yet.
Uh-huh. No. All things considered, for a nude portrait, it's very demure. It's literally just a back.
It's a little, yeah.
They sort of
It's
say
a
later, like, "Oh, this how scandalous, a naked lady." No, it's not.
no,
It's not.
no
This is PG-13 at the worst, right?
minimum. I think Miley showed more footage on her Vanity Fair cover. I have a feeling, like,
Absolutely.
as a minor, no less. But this now Irene is getting grilled
Oh,
to
did we
because
mention
now
that the
we've
face
said
was cut out?
the face is ripped,
The face was ripped out of the canvas. So
like
who could it be? Who is
almost like it had been
modeling?
like popped from the back, like it's got like those furls coming.
Yes. It's a very dramatic way to like rip up the painting, right? It could have been
Yeah.
much more efficient. Get a
I
pair of
think
kitchen
what it
shears, snip it
shows
out, and
is
move on.
actually almost that it was like stabbed.
And
Almost
that
like
is what
it
it
was
shows,
like
yeah.
stabbed out.
Violently attacked. The painting
Yeah.
itself was violently attacked with a knife. Did we
Oh,
get into it that there's
Irene's been
also
holding
paint
held.
on the knife? There's also paint on the knife, which lets us
Mm,
know that it was stabbed and then the same knife would have been used to
killed
kill
Thane.
Thane. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Irene's in jail. And she's
Irene's in
withholding some
jail.
shit. She's not talking about everything she knows. And they all know it. But she won't
Yeah.
she won't she won't budge.
Yet another deputy who we see only once has brought her over, and Jessica and Amos have this moment.
I got a lot of turnover here.
Stealing something.
It has all the earmarks of a crime of passion.
Passion.
Oh, I know that Simon Thane is something of an institution around here. But just because there's a little snow on the roof, don't mean that there's no fire in the hearth, if you get my drift.
Oh, I get your drift, Amos. I just think your anchor is slipping.
That oil painting, the one that was slashed, was of a lady altogether. Could be that there was some hanky-panky going on between Thane and his model.
Amos, Simon Thane was an artist. To him, his model was more likely a...
Artists don't have sex. What are you talking about?
No, they don't have sex.
She was a bowl of fruit. What do you want?
They're both representing two different ends of this like ideology, right? Like when really it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we see this later with Jessica too. For a fairly enlightened woman, even when we get to the deputy sleeping with all the women around town, she immediately goes to, it seems like companionship was more of the story here. I'm like, is it? Does
Are
it
you
seem like
sure?
it? Because
Sometimes
people
people
are
just want to
calling
get
him
off.
saying that their cat went up a tree so they could sleep with him. I mean,
Seems like a
Yeah.
a pretty cut and dry
She
booty
always has to
calls,
pull him
right?
back. She has to pull him back every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's not wrong either. I mean, very
No, she's not.
frequently, the idea that an artist would automatically be sexually inclined to, frankly, take advantage of the power structure is fucked up to automatically assume that.
Truly.
She's
Yeah.
not wrong.
She's not. Well,
That
and she's also right that if you're an artist, you've been around so many naked bodies. I can't tell you how many
right.
nude body drawing classes I've taken, and they ain't nothing sexual about it.
Hmm.
It's very
I mean,
much we have friends that do
but we have to
naked
acknowledge the
modeling, right?
irony because the girl in the painting, Simon does turn out to have a
No.
relationship.
Do they actually? No, I don't think
I think
so.
so.
No, I don't think that's what's implied.
Then we're gonna get when
I
we get to
think
the
the
confession
woman
scene.
thinks they're in a
Okay, when we get to the
relationship.
confession scene, we'll talk
We'll have
about it
to break it down. Yeah.
because I end
Interesting.
this episode with a very
Oh.
different perspective than you evidently.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So we're at the Selbys because George, Darren number two, is also Thane's lawyer.
Yes.
They are also folks who go back and forth from Boston, so they're in Cabot Cove right now, I believe,
He's
hanging
always
out.
gone during the week, and she's always there during the week.
Right.
Does that sound
Just like
familiar?
Eleanor is always
Ooh.
away. Yes. And might we also notice that the shape of Mrs. Selby's body is not dissimilar to that of Irene Rutdlege's,
Nah,
which is
she's a
not
dish.
dissimilar to that nude body of the woman in the Altogether that we saw in the painting.
Curious. Curious
We have
indeed.
a car moment. You know, we love a car moment
Oh
for
yeah.
both exposition and a quick reveal because Jessica can't drive, so she always needs someone to drive her, which is how we get clues.
Yeah.
And that is
So Dick
very
Sargent
useful.
is driving her
That
home
is
from their house.
a very useful
And very
situation.
congruous here, right? I think it really works. I think this is and I actually didn't catch it when I was rewatching it until the end of the episode. I was like, oh yeah, it was so
Right.
quick, but so critical. So
Yeah.
quick. We also didn't mention, so now there's this sort of backstory here or side storyline where everybody's concerned about the boy, Tommy. They want to make sure that he's taken care of because Irene doesn't have any kin, and Tommy is essentially out in no man's land with her in jail. So Amos is going to take care of her. They're trying to find a school for him to attend. It's
Right.
very charitable. It's kind of a beautiful thing that these people are doing for this kid when they could easily say, "Oh, his mother was a murderer."
Send him to foster care.
Send him into
Yeah.
put him in the system, right? But no, these people really
Yeah.
care about this kid. It's really very sweet.
Jessica in her velour running outfit.
Surprised she's not jogging. No, she's got heels on.
She does, which means actually that this is walking around wear, which
Oh yeah.
is unusual for her, frankly. This is a little bit
Hmm.
more
It's very
John's
casual,
than
very
usual.
sportswear, yeah. I wish
And
there were more to say about the
juxtaposition
costumes here,
to
but they're pretty.
I have to say, no, I love
Eleanor looks beautiful.
this dark crystal chain that we've
Oh
our
yeah.
beaded chain here. I
Oh yeah.
love. It really does show again the class distinction
Money.
that
And
Jessica
it's
is
easy too.
the right
It's not
country
fussy. It's
mouse
like easy,
versus city
rich.
mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is also very Jessica Walter. I can see Jessica
Oh,
Walter in this
absolutely.
dress. Yeah, the hair is a giant helmet, but that's what we did back then.
Hmm.
I was watching. Oh, what was it? I was watching the new Matlock, and Jason Ritter, I believe his name is John Ritter's son, is one of the leads in the ensemble piece, and his hair is like some Rob Blagojevich. Like it's just that John Larroquette in Night Court. Like I don't
Oh
like.
yeah.
How does one do that?
I don't
How
even know
does
how
one
it
hair? How
works.
does hair layer like that? And it's not a period piece. It's present day. So I'm like, that's such a choice. That's such a choice.
Someone has carried over that habit for years and years, decades even. And nobody wears their hair that way. Uh, I love a Jessica snooping around scene.
Yes. She
She goes to
walks
the
into the
studio.
studio and sees Felix nonchalantly forging Thane's name.
Well, and they had this whole discussion about how this is very typical. He never signed his work until it went to me in the gallery. This is something we do. We have consent. So, okay, but also okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
It's a way to
if
make
you
him look
have this arrangement,
suspicious.
yeah.
That's all. That's the device that we're using it for here.
Well, it also shows that Thane, while ostensibly missed as a husband and friend,
Hmm.
is more valuable in the minds of his friends as a commodity.
That's what I was thinking about the dinner conversation.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
just talking about him as if he's some sort of commodity or financial gain system for themselves
Same
in front of his
same
face.
thing.
And now,
Yeah.
right after he's dead. And I
Right.
know they frame it as like we have to protect Eleanor and the estate. Yes, but everyone has some self-interest here. Everyone.
Well, I think that's also meant to imply his significant age difference as well, is that he does only have so much time left
Yeah.
in theory.
Yeah.
Um, in the Cesar Romero episode, his new wife Margot talks about that was on the TV yesterday. That's why I remember it so distinctly.
Yes.
It was what was on during dinner. The warehouse of pictures that he had been doing all summer were
Hmm.
there. Like he had been painting a
Yes.
lot of work. And it's
Yes.
interesting as a painter, the more scarcity is honestly one of the benefits of an artist's worth after his death is how few
Right.
are available.
Yeah.
Not just, what the piece is. And so it's sort of like, oh, he had like scores of extra artwork. And I'm like,
Hmm.
it's actually not great for his estate, frankly. I mean, now he's
No.
going to be dead, so I guess it works out. But
They
alive,
don't
harder,
care.
harder.
Yeah. Well, have you ever spent time in Maine in like seaside towns? There are so many seascape painters and galleries for
Oh
them.
yeah,
It's overwhelming.
oh yeah.
So,
I was born in
on
Connecticut.
one
I had
hand, oh,
quite a few
sure.
seaside towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind
Um,
of it's kind of interesting that he is this incredibly financial successful painter when he's doing kind of what everyone else does. So, I think that's interesting. I'm not sure what I think about it, but I'm
well, I
curious.
mean, a husband and I are fairly avid watchers of the Antiques Roadshow.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it is sort of fascinating to learn, particularly when they talk about portraiture and landscapes and artwork that is folk art versus stylized art. I don't actually know the opposite of folk art, but whatever high art or whatever, whatever it is.
High artist. Yeah, that's
Um,
a good way of putting it.
I guess the difference between, like fashion and couture, or,
Sure.
it's the sophistication necessarily isn't always the selling point. Sometimes it's simply that it was recognized that it's like how do you
Exactly.
know? Like
Exactly. Well, and that's
what
why
makes this famous? Like
art
it's sort
collection
of
as an investment is the most, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't make sense. It's
oh
like the
yeah, arbitrary.
least
It's arbitrary.
arbitrary. That's it.
Yeah.
It's so arbitrary, and it just has to have, like you said, the right eyes on it for someone to say, "Oh, well, they like it. It must be valuable." When you can have two things that are essentially identical next to each other, and one is worth 5 grand and one is worth 120 bucks.
Well, we see this in trends because what will happen? You ever watch the roadshow where they do comparisons where we see whether or not the price has gone up or down?
Yeah, yeah.
They're the most satisfying. I live and breathe
Yes,
for them.
absolutely.
Um,
I love it when someone comes in with something you're like, I'm gonna make a steal and it's worth zilch. It's
yeah.
so much fun.
And they do these episodes where they show the actual discussion and they appraised it, and then they'll say what it's worth now. So if that episode was actually 10 years ago, or however,
Hmm.
they'll show if it went up or down and due to the
Yep.
market as it is, the market rate. And invariably somebody again, this is what we say in our household. An older woman, usually, or an older man, will find out that their item is worth, like 180,000, but it went down in this future market, and they were like, "It doesn't matter. She's dead now. Like it's all right. Like she does. It's all right. It's fine." But the trends of like, oh well, that those used to be very collectible, or that there was a high interest in it, like they're not anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
we really do just sort of wave through these trends,
It's
like
all
what the world
abstract.
tells
None of
us.
it is tangible or concrete or graspable. It's all ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you
which is
even
very
you
frustrating in a lot of ways.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Sometimes
in a
I
lot
think
of art,
even money, even our idea about money, one of the age-old systems of mankind, money is arbitrary and
oh sure,
abstract.
it means something because we want it to. Yeah.
We tell ourselves that it means something, but in fact, it does not exist in the earthly realm.
Well,
We
that's
tell ourselves
why,
gold is valuable because
yeah.
it's pretty and shiny and maybe we can use it for certain things. But what value does it actually have in the course of our lives?
Well, that's the issue. That's one of the issues I have with diamonds is because they're a
Mhm.
relatively new development in
Exactly.
value.
It's like
Um,
now we eat lobster and we pay buco bucks for it when for centuries it was the cockroach of the sea and nobody wanted to touch it and they started it in
right.
prisons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. Well, some of that, I mean, that also is arguable in terms of peasant cuisine becoming higher
Exploited
class.
for high
Right.
high cuisine. Yeah.
And sometimes it's also because things are really dangerous to catch, or there is scarcity in the ocean, or there is
Yeah.
scarcity in getting things. And there's a lot of cynicism that can be added to that occurs because of government influence.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is very purposeful government influence to then make things
Manipulate the
scarce.
markets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's it's very frustrating. We just had
So we
a
learned, yeah,
revelation. Yeah.
we learned a little bit about Irene. Do you want to get a
Jessica
little
goes to
of
the,
a
yeah, let's do Jessica goes to her prison cell to finally get the tea.
Mrs. Thane had gone. So when I finished cleaning up in the kitchen,
She's got the
I
saddest
went up to the
eyes.
studio to see Mr.
I'm telling you, the weight
get
of the
paid.
world.
And
Well, he was lying on the floor. I didn't know what was wrong. I went to him, turned him over. There was blood on my hands.
and he'd been stabbed with a carving knife.
He was dead. I panicked. I ran away.
But Irene, why didn't you telephone the sheriff or at least call Mrs. Thane?
No, I couldn't get involved. I just couldn't.
But you had done nothing. Why were you so frightened?
I didn't kill him, Mrs. Fletcher. You must believe that.
Try to remember. Was there a painting on the easel?
No, the easel was empty.
And the knife, hadn't it been in the kitchen?
Well, I remember carrying it to the kitchen when I cleared the table, but no, it wasn't there when I put things away.
No.
Irene, are you telling me everything?
Well, about that night, yes.
Yeah. She's clearly not. She says yes and then turns away.
The roots, Tommy. Sure you got
And Amos
So yeah, then
pulling
we
weeds with
learned.
Tommy. Well, so what we
There we
found
go.
out is that they've
Here
done
we
some
go.
checking into it. Oh, we're gonna hear it?
Yeah, we get the deputy into this.
Yeah. Who's kind of cute, by the way.
They always get a cute deputy. They do.
Mhm.
See you right away.
a little checking up on Irene and Tommy's background.
Amos, what is it?
According to the hospital records where Tommy was born, his mother died in childbirth.
I think
Dun,
it's a bridge too
dun,
far.
dun. It's a
I
lot.
think it's just a little too much. It's just
It's a little like
too much.
it's a little kindergarten cop, mom and son fleeing their secrets. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God, it's been forever since I've seen that
I
movie.
know, right? Get
Um,
down.
So what I wish, only reason I would, okay, if they had been lesbian lovers, then I would have loved it. Then I would have loved it.
That would really deliver, wouldn't it? No.
But she's just a friend.
She had a friend who was pregnant, didn't have anybody. The friend died in childbirth. She told the hospital she was her sister, took the baby, and was never seen from again.
Right.
Seen or heard from again.
So she already had told other people that she was not the birth mother. But here she was telling, I think she was sort of implying, if not outright saying,
Yeah.
that she was the birth mother.
Yeah, everybody assumes that she is his mother, and that's not even her name. Irene isn't even her name.
Irene is the actual mother's name.
Yeah. So she is essentially stolen this dead woman's identity.
She's fraud. Oh, it's straight up fraud.
This is a big deal. This is
Straight
a
up fraud
big
and abduction.
deal.
This
Yeah.
is two felonies that I have a feeling won't go I have a feeling we're going to go the route of that agitator that Seth pretend
In
had
Peabody?
died, and
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Ugh,
You
you
know,
know.
sometimes we follow the law and sometimes we don't.
I know.
Arbitrary.
Hilarious.
Our word of the day.
Also, I have to say, they're having this conversation under a giant sign that says "Missing Children Watch," and I was to say, did they plan that? Did they know what they were
There's
doing?
also a marijuana poster in that
Oh
police
yeah, oh
office.
yeah. The sheriff
Very
office,
clear on the wall. Yep.
a lot of anti-drugs, anti-smoking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, neighborhood watch
Very.
shit. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
love it. I love a set dressing.
Hmm. Oh, see, Amos is so sweet here. He's thinking of taking in Tommy and being a father figure to him. And they're getting along so well. They're playing catch. It's so sweet. They really care about this kid.
There's an interesting thing here. There's this.
Not much money. Never could afford the kind of stuff other kids had.
Really?
Do you suppose I could take the boy in and make a home for him?
Tommy needs Irene, his mother.
But she isn't even his real mother.
Well, only two of us know that, Amos.
As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't need to know that. To hell with the child's agency.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little Murder at 50 Mile again.
It really
Not
is. Yeah.
letting.
We're just not gonna tell.
It's the era. It's absolutely the era. This is also the same era where if the daughter got pregnant, you'd send her to the down east, down south,
Oh
have the
yeah,
baby come back and raise him as your sibling. This
exactly.
is
What episode is that in? You know what I'm talking about with the
I
sisters?
do. I
Yes.
do.
Come on, Anne
Jessica Walter.
Francis, come on
With
back.
Jessica
Yeah.
Walter.
Yes. Isn't Lonnie Anderson in that one too? No, I'm thinking of something else.
No, 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 no. And actually I think you're combining two. But
Oh, am I?
um
Maybe.
yeah, it's the Jessica Walter as the unscrupulous writer who has a sister who's
Hmm.
actually a daughter. And
Hmm.
then there's also shenanigans relating to whose baby is whose in the Anne Francis
That's the one
Comeback
I'm
Girls
thinking
one.
of. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But also like I'm thinking of The Old Maid starring Betty Davis or
Of
the real
course.
story. I think the real
Yep.
story of Jack Nicholson. And Bobby Darin. I believe
Oh,
those are
that's
actual
right.
I believe those are two
Yeah.
examples of that happening in real life. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so I guess it's not that far-fetched after all.
Now, are we meant to believe that Cash is the boy's father?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Essentially, Jessica has a conversation with him where she says, "So you went to prison right before Tommy was born. You seem to have followed these people here. You're always lingering around." And he says as much, "If I were the father, yada, 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 yada. But I'm not. He's the father."
He's the father.
He went to jail, and I think they tell us later, he stabbed somebody after he insulted the pregnant girlfriend and then went to jail
Mm,
and is now a felon. And then she had the baby in the hospital and died.
mhm.
And so now he won't actually say that he's the father to Tommy because he says, what kid needs an ex-con as a father? But he's staying awfully close. And that actually explains that creepy ass line he says earlier. That's a fine looking
Nice.
boy you got there. Thank God, because that would have given me nightmares.
It's still a little awkward.
I mean, there's even
And
a
I have
scene
to
where Amos
say,
is playing football with Tommy, and Cash shows up and says, "Oh, make sure you keep the shoulders in or whatever." So he's trying to be a father to this kid that he really loves. But
it
it's
sort
a
of,
little get in my van, I have candy, right?
yeah, it sort of gets involved. Yeah. Oh, Jessica found some paint on the door handle or whatever that is.
Well, she saw it
Door
on
console.
Cash, and it sort of sparked her memory.
Yeah. Well, because he was the one who found that painting slash
Yes,
stuff. Cash found the
right.
slash.
And is it same
And
coloring
yeah,
of paint stain on his jacket? Yeah.
of the woman in the altogether, her skin tone.
The woman in the altogether.
It's a
I've
Technicolor.
never heard of it referred to that way.
In the altogether? Oh
Yep,
yeah. Oh, I
never,
love it.
ever,
Oh
ever. First
yeah.
time.
Old school.
Mhm. Oh,
Jessica's
I
also
love
been shopping
Jessica's.
this. She's been shopping this lighter around.
Yeah.
She tried to get Felix, and Felix like, I don't smoke.
I don't smoke. If you
He's his own
remember,
fag.
our Ann Dusenberry character said she gave up smoking a month ago.
Month ago.
Yeah.
And Darren number 2 just said, "Oh, that's mine," and took it and began to light his
Her
thin
little
little cigar.
staged spill. First of all, she spills black tea on this woman's white sofa. Jesus, Jessica. And then
Oh, they have, I'm
grabs
sure it's
it.
Scotch guarded.
She literally
I'm
says
sure.
it's protected. It'll come right off. I'm like, I don't see the plastic, girl.
The
So she
girl will
pulls
take
this
care of it.
lighter. She's planted the lighter in the couch essentially and pulls it out and says, "Oh, look at this beautiful lighter." And Darren says, "Yeah, that's mine."
I have to say, you know what? If those cushions were ruined, no loss.
No loss.
That's an ugly couch.
It's an ugly ass couch. Who has a white couch, by the way?
Rich people. Rich people.
Ugh.
Rich people have white carpets and white furniture and a lot of white clothes.
A lot of white clothes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the cocaine won't show up.
Yes, that's why.
This is one of my favorite little twists at the end because Jessica thinks she's got it figured out. But in the moment there, she's confronting these two essentially. She realizes she got it wrong.
Yeah, she thought it was Darren, right?
Yeah. Because the paint was in his car. It looked like it had clearly been somebody tried to clean it off, but it was still a little bit left that got on her jacket. So she thought for sure it was Darren.
Yeah.
Maybe for some sort of financial motive, but
or
because his wife was posing for a dirty picture.
Jessica, let's just get a little bit of this.
Let's do it.
That he
But I haven't seen this lighter in months. When Carol and I were both smoking, we had them all over the place. I mean, we were always losing them.
George, I'm so sorry.
Jessica, what is this all about?
I came here thinking you were the murderer, but of course, it wasn't Irene who was posing for Simon.
Don't be ridiculous.
It is all of you.
Jessica, that's nonsense.
No, I don't think so. You were always such a devoted admirer of Simon's genius. I don't know why it took me so long to put this together. The cigarette lighter was in the pocket of Simon's dressing gown. The same gown that he lent you when you were posing, which obviously started before you gave up smoking.
Carol?
George,
It's gonna.
don't look at me like that.
While I was in Boston during the week, you were having an affair with Simon.
It wasn't like that. We shared something spiritual.
Yes. A long summer of intimacy with a man that you greatly admired.
He was the most exciting thing that had ever happened to me. His creative energy, his excitement. I suppose I fell in love with him. And I thought he felt the same thing for me. And then the night of the party, I realized it was Eleanor he loved and always had.
And you suddenly developed a headache.
I had made a fool of myself. And when that painting was made public, everyone would know. I had to destroy that painting. I waited until I thought everyone had left, and then
I love this set when you're walking in with that dress, holding the knife.
And that knife. Ugh.
A knife and slipped out to the studio.
And we see her slash it. She had to do that in one take.
And you can see the mullet in the painting.
I love it. And then she stabs him.
Thane comes in, and it's kind of an accident.
It kind of is, yeah.
She's stabbing the painting, and he turns her around, and she just plunges the knife in.
This thing that ever touched my life. And I killed him.
Nice.
I love the
That's
scene.
great, Tupper.
I love the confession scene. It's
I do
great.
too. Okay, so let's break it down. Do you still think that they didn't sleep together?
Well, so she doesn't say explicitly. Jessica implies
She
it,
doesn't.
but maybe I'm infected by The Artist, the episode of The Golden Girls, where they all think they have this relationship with this person, but in fact, he's just doing his job. And
Mm,
so it feels like that's what's happening here too. She says she fell in love with him. He was exciting, whatever, but she
right.
never says she slept with him.
And that intimacy doesn't have to straight up mean sexual
She
contact.
says spiritual connection, right? So maybe they had beautiful conversations and connected in that way. But then she says when he made the toast, he realized he always loved Eleanor.
Yeah.
So it makes me believe that he was just connecting with another human rather than being intimate with someone in an inappropriate way, I guess. But but it's so open for interpretation because we don't
It
really
is.
get the details, right? What do you think?
I always interpreted it as they had an affair. I took it at, I guess, face value. I took her at her word that they shared something beautiful, and her saying it wasn't like a sleazy affair. It was actual
Yeah.
something. It was meaningful. It
Yeah.
was like a,
Well, and I think your argument has some weight because of all of you remember I talking about Eleanor and all of her sort of uncomfortable looks and tension?
yes.
Maybe there was something there that got cut or never got explored, or maybe there was a line somewhere like, I always wondered if Simon was having an affair or something, and we just never got it, right?
I think there was an implication that okay, so I inferred that
Yeah.
he had a history of having relationships
Ah,
with his muses,
you
and
know
that
those
Eleanor
artists.
may have previously been a muse,
Hmm.
and notably wasn't anymore, and that
Interesting.
they had basically become a pair of comfortable shoes, and that he was still secretive about his work because she was never able to see any of them,
Yeah.
but she knew he was working on them, and she used to be able to see them. But this was a level of intimacy that she was not allowed to do. Now, whether that or not, because people have emotional affairs all the time, whether or not that means, and some people think that emotional affairs are worse than or more betraying than physical
Right.
relationships. In fact, some open relationships don't mind if you sleep with other people, but it's that once you start lying about it or hiding things or connecting in a different way,
Right.
that's when the
Right.
betrayal begins. It's an interesting idea. Again,
I
I
mean,
think the show
yeah.
has always had its agenda when talking particularly about cross-generational relationships.
Hmm.
They're always a bad idea in the show. They're always a bad idea.
Well, and you make a good point because Eleanor did not know that Carol was posing.
Right.
And he's not painting a seascape. He's actually engaging with another human on
Right.
their property when she's not there, who's taking her clothes off.
Mhm.
And it does sort of make Carol's story here is more plausible if they are sleeping together. Because otherwise, she's just a bit of a nut,
And that's
right?
fun
She's
too.
delusional.
But
It would
that's
be fun
fun
if we
too.
could define it one way or the other because, and again, I think something was cut from Eleanor's material because she's really shortchanged. You can tell
Mm.
the actor is doing work to give us something, but then we never get a payoff from it,
Or it wasn't in the script and she felt she needed it.
which is cool
That
too. I
yeah. Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
But it seems so intentional because the director, whoever directed this episode, made sure to show us what was going on on Eleanor's face in those awkward moments. So it was an intentional choice from the production team to show us that there was tension within Eleanor around her husband. But they never give us a resolution or an explanation. So I think maybe now that we're talking about it, maybe your case that they were sleeping together makes more sense.
Or at the very least that he did reciprocate in a
Emotional way.
muse artist kind of way that she wasn't able to, and that
Right.
this second honeymoon was meant to reconnect them after
Yeah.
an estrangement to
Yeah.
some degree,
Yeah.
because the expectation that in 2 weeks they were going to go away for a month means that that painting would have been done
Hmm.
and that relationship would have been done.
Yeah. Thank you for posing. See you around.
See you around.
The end of the next dinner party.
And maybe that's just I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just Guido Continiing him, where I feel like he has where he is sexualizing his muses. I know that's a really easy way to go, and that also is a
Sure.
it's not a creative way of going about things is automatically. I mean, I think human
Yeah,
connection is
it's
far
kind
more
of an
complicated.
easy, low-hanging fruit device for, you know, a quick story.
But maybe it's, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel I don't like Thane. And it's not necessarily that I feel that, particularly in fiction, an unfaithful husband is automatically unlikable. I think we are given clues and footage to not like him and to think that he is a, a dick in some capacity. And
Yeah.
I feel
They're so vague though. They're so vague.
yes, but I don't think that Carol is wrong. I think that he
Right.
did encourage this to some degree, which
Hmm.
again is a fascinating concept considering this woman is in her 30s. It's not like she's some young ingenue who,
Right.
like, out of high school who's being groomed. It
She's in
shows
her
that that
adult
can be,
brain. She should be able to
yeah,
understand these things at an adult level. And so again, it's either she is a bit mentally unwell or they were fucking.
yeah, or both. They were fucking and it wasn't
Right.
anything to him,
Right. And it was to her.
and it was to her.
She said they have something spiritual. She thought they shared something spiritual. And then he says, I'm taking my wife on a second honeymoon, which
Right,
explains her shocked face at that dinner party. That they play off
right.
as, oh, you're my best friend. You didn't even tell me. Wow, congratulations. I have to say, I think Ann Dusenberry's performance throughout the episode, we don't get a lot of her until this end scene, really. But
We
she's
get three
pretty,
major. We get
yeah,
three major scenes. Yeah.
she's pretty, she's got a poker face. She is not indicating in any way after that initial sort of shock at the dinner table that she's feeling any sort of way. So I like that because that feels plausible. That feels like someone who has said, okay, this is what we got to do. And until she's called out here at the end and her husband says, Carol, does she finally crumble and reveal what's going on inside of her? So I like her performance. I like this confession scene. I like that and I killed him.
You kind of-
And I killed
Yeah,
him.
and it's almost like she's realizing it. Like she had
Yeah.
suppressed it
Yeah,
to
exactly.
such a degree where
It
only
feels like an
now is
actual,
it. Yeah.
this is what your brain would do to sort of deal with something traumatic like this that you've done. And it was a crime of passion. She didn't mean to stab him. She was stabbing the painting, and he happened to get in the way.
Yeah. He pulled her off and she
This
stabbed
is
him
not
instead.
premeditated. This is not first degree. This is, oh, fuck. I fucked up. What do I do
And
now?
I love the taking back, like, oh, you don't want me? Then you don't get to have me in any way. Let me
Yeah.
slash this painting,
It
sort
is a
of.
way she exercises her agency in that situation.
Yeah.
She
It is
just
interesting
goes too far.
that there are two episodes with this actress and both involve desecrating a painting of her.
That's
That's
wild.
not a lot, but it is odd that it happened twice.
It is. It is. She gets great stuff in both of her episodes. She's a really fine actor. I'm really happy to see her on the screen.
Yeah, I like it. The wide-eyed, like this sort of Cupid doll sort of
Hmm.
just breakdown. I love that her eyes get moist, but she doesn't have tears streaming down her
Hmm.
face
Hmm.
because it does show this disconnect. And in a lesser actor, that would show not
Yeah,
connecting to the script.
right.
But I fully buy it. And I buy Darren too. I buy Dick
Yeah,
Sargent's response to this, which, as you know, gay icon Dick Sargent,
gay icon. Full of gay icons here.
full of gay icons here. Um, he looks betrayed. That face, he looks like he did not see this coming. He didn't know, and he's actually
He's shocked.
hurt.
And
Hurt.
I love the framing of it too, because it's him standing behind Jessica in one frame and then her in the other. So it really
Mhm.
separates them and says he may not have her back anymore after this.
No,
Right?
no, she's going to jail and she's going to prison, and hey, they're getting a divorce.
Yeah.
And he's a lawyer. You think he doesn't have these
Oh
things,
yeah.
the system in place? Oh,
I like that his performance isn't also like, I can't believe you did this to me. How dare you? It's very shocked and resigned, and he kind of lets Jessica do most of the work for him while he processes. You're right, this
and he
flashback
well,
sequence
and he,
is so good. It's so
so
eerie.
good.
Yeah.
That when she drops the coat, So
Uh-huh.
good. And she's less emotional in this scene than he is because her betrayal has already been like a week. It was, I mean, it wasn't a week. It was what, like 4 or 5 days ago, if that. I don't even know what the turnaround is here.
Yeah.
She's already, I mean, she's not really, I mean, something's still obviously wrong with her, but she's not going through this confession the way that a lot of other people are confessing
Right.
because she's already processed some of
This
it.
is it's very present. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. His face when he gets stabbed. And then a canvas falls on him. Oh,
Well, you know.
the
And then she
disrespect
has
of it
to, then
all.
she rips the rest of her face out and
Hmm.
then discards the painting
Carries the
on the way
painting in her
home
car, throws it in the dump, doesn't cleans the car,
where
doesn't
Cash
clean it up
finds it.
enough. Yeah. Wow,
Uh,
wow, wow. And then at the end, Jessica tells Amos just to forget about the fraud that Irene has committed, basically.
I hope you got, yeah. I would, if I were you, I would get some amnesia. It's not their place. I will say that. It's not
Yes,
their place.
right.
It's not quite the same way as 50 Mile. It's Irene's place to have that conversation
Yeah,
with
right.
Tommy.
Well, and they also say that Cash Logan has now had a conversation with Irene and they're spending time together. So I know it's a little it's a little clunky, but the emotional payoff for those three characters feels really satisfying. And I know it I say clunky in that like, wow, there's a lot of things going on here and they wrap it up for them and it's like clunky with a nice clean bow on it. Oh, she's
Hmm.
happy now. She has her kid, and the
There you go.
father's now in the picture, and everybody's a little happier. Which is what's nice about that is so often in Murder She Wrote, these murders happen and these people's lives are decimated, and then we just move right on.
I
We
mean,
don't
we do
usually
to a certain
get a
degree.
nice, happy follow-up here.
We have no resolution with Eleanor,
No.
and we never see the Rutledges again. But in theory, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And honestly, the one who's just a little bit sadder by the end of it is Tupper because
Yeah.
he actually got like this father figure moment and seems disappointed that he doesn't get to continue this
It's
fatherly relationship with Tommy.
it does tug at your heartstrings a little bit. I have to admit, I did tear up a little bit when I was watching this. Surprised, shocked me. Here I am watching Murder She Wrote on a Monday
Yeah.
afternoon, and my heartstrings get tugged.
Yeah. Well, by the end of it, Jessica is about to tell him that Cash is the father because he doesn't actually know that yet.
Right, right.
So maybe that will change his
Hopefully,
perspective,
yeah. He said, "Oh, the boy now has." I mean,
the
I don't
father figure.
necessarily buy into that father figure nonsense, maybe,
No.
but for the time and for the character of Amos, it makes sense that he believes this is important for a young boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
A fine episode.
Yeah.
I think it is a return to form in an episode of ups and downs in terms of big swings.
Yeah. Well, and they still have
This
some good swings in here too, some fairly significant
sure,
strings, a lot of
but they're
storylines, a lot of
familiar swings.
it's very comfortable. It's watching this episode after the last several has been very comfortable and
It's like coming
satisfying
home.
and
Yeah,
it's a good meal. It's what I
yeah.
wanted.
There's a lot to deconstruct. There's a lot to. It's a good background episode as well as one to like pick apart.
Hmm.
So I enjoy that. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
The clues are great. The paint in the
People
car,
behave
which
like
is
human
such a
beings.
fast clue that you could miss
Yeah.
it.
People behave like human beings, which I think is important.
Hmm.
There are good people, there are bad people, there are complicated people.
There's no
I like
scenery
that.
chewing performances here. They all exist in the same universe. Sometimes we get like such low energy and such high energy, like when we were Mama Rosing.
Yes.
We get like a big swing from Adrienne Barbeau and then Wet
Makes
Blanket
us think of
Joyce.
something else.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
here
I don't
we
think we
are.
did that
Here
much here.
we've
I think
really
we were
leveled it
engaged.
in. Yeah,
We
everybody's
were
on the
pretty
same
engaged.
page. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think also it allows you to be judgmental as an audience member and pick who you're rooting for or who
Yeah,
you identify with, and not in a heavy-handed manner. Because as we're
true.
able to say, how we feel about Thane is up for debate. How we
Yeah,
feel about Eleanor is up for debate. Is she the
totally.
long-suffering wife, or is she jealous, or is this commonplace? We have these things we can figure out,
Hmm.
and it doesn't make her an incomplete character. It makes perhaps some writing not, as
Yeah.
fulfilling, but it doesn't make her false. And good acting choices on Miss Baker's behalf
Really,
make
yeah.
her fill in some of those gaps.
I have to
Um,
tell you, she's the most interesting character to me, and it's probably because I don't get the answers. And that's why I'm still talking about like, what about Eleanor? What about Eleanor? And she's a great actor too. I think she really shows up and does exactly what she needs to do here.
well, my inference that she's a former muse that ended up in the long term with Thane is
Hmm.
entirely made up by me.
Yeah. But
There's
she gives
That's
you
not on the
enough
paper,
to say, I think that's
but
happening.
I think that's what happens,
There's a
and
depth
I
in her
think that
character.
that's yeah, and I think that and that also gives me an indication that if in fact Eleanor and Carol,
Carol. Yep.
Carol, are good friends, as Carol seems to say that they are, then they were on the same level at some point, perhaps, when they both had an opportunity to get Thane,
Hmm.
but Eleanor got him first, and Eleanor got
Maybe.
him close. And there was always this inability to connect in that regard until she was seen as
Yeah.
worthy of being documented and emulated
Yeah.
for the canvas. And that's I know you paint. Have you ever been painted
Yes, I
by
have.
somebody else?
Yes, I have.
There's a feeling of electricity to that, right?
It's very
There's a
exciting to show. Well, maybe I've been used in an art piece before where I modeled for something. And it's very exciting to think that someone looks at you and says, I want to tell a story about you through my work. And I was featured in a gallery in the East Village. I went to a whole showing and my big old picture was there on the wall in drag. It was like a half face in drag, half face out of drag. And it's
People
very
love
cool
that.
to show up
People love that.
and be like, this is me. That's me on the wall. That's me on the
Yeah.
wall. So it can be a very intoxicating feeling, sure. I'm also a pretty pragmatic, grounded person, so I don't let things get away from me. But, you know,
Yeah.
it feels
I've
good.
had
It's very
I've
flattering.
had artwork done of me. I mean, I've done a couple of Dr. Sketches, which is for, if people don't know, those are like rapid draw or rapid paint sessions where you
Hmm.
do 1 minute sessions, 5 minute, 10 minute, and then 20 minute or 25, depending on
Oh,
the
sure.
schedule. But they're quick. They're obviously very quick, and you do them in person, and usually music is playing and drinking and drawing, and it's all very good. I've done several of those. I actually
Yeah.
missed it. I haven't done it since I've moved here, but they were very common in New York, getting burlesque people because burlesque people are comfortable often in states of undress, as well as having interesting costumes or having interesting
Right.
things to work with,
Right.
and really good opportunity. Our best, my one of my dear friends and a friend of yours, Lillian Bustle, frequently does figure modeling, and very frequently people will go for different types of bodies because not
Hmm.
only is that more realistic, it's frankly more interesting. It's always going
Yeah,
to be more interesting to learn about how to do shadows if you get somebody with, I don't know, even like folds or shape or,
definitely.
anything. But I have been captured in bad art as well.
That's so funny.
And you kind of just have to just say thank you. Thank you. That's very nice. That's very nice.
This is so
Um,
interesting. I was on the phone with a medical bill corrector because I had some lab work done and whatever, and I was trying to figure out something. So I was looking through these old folders to try to find some records, and lo and behold, this very weird. I found a collection of drawings that were done at a drink and draw of me that I had
mm,
forgotten I had. And so right before I got on this Zoom call to record about this episode, I was looking at pictures that someone had drawn of me, that several people had drawn of me and given to me.
yeah.
That's fucking weird.
It is weird. I'm on here
That's very
somewhere. There's
synchronistic. Yeah.
there's pictures of me behind me of me being captured. I mean, I'm better photographed, I will say. But well, partially because so much of my makeup is to remove features and to highlight others that don't exactly exist.
Sure.
So that's going to be hard to capture in a drawing. I mean, it's been done, sure, but I've worked with a lot of really great photographers over the years. And for someone who paints their face very similarly every time,
Very
it's
branded,
really
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very cool to see how different
Hmm.
people can do that.
Totally.
So what I find usually very often is that those photographers, maybe based on who they are or based on what their agenda is, they're more interested in you falling in love with yourself than they are if you falling in love with them.
How very
So,
romantic.
mm,
Well,
yeah, so that was a good Cabot Cove episode. Very satisfying. And we just sort of, again, we talked about it and then we sort of lose a little bit of it later because different things become important. But it is still a very important discussion on class,
yeah.
as well as, because again, once again, it's the rich people who are just as fucked up as the people that they think lesser of, and they're the ones who did the bad things.
Yeah.
This show does not frequently have lower class people do the bad things. It's often the rich people.
It's always the rich people. It's always the rich people.
Which, I mean, it is always the rich people.
Yeah.
So, well, Simon Says, Color Me Dead. Not a great title. It doesn't do this episode any favors.
It's a much more interesting episode than the title gives
Would
us.
imply. Yes. Next time on our show, we are going away. We're going into
going
No
to the
Laughing
lodge.
Murder. The Lodge. We have Steve Lawrence, Shereen North, George Clooney, Buddy Hackett. It's a great old time. It's actually one of
It's
my favorite
packed.
episodes.
Stacked and packed. It's so much fun. So much fun.
Some good stuff. And some returning faces of people that we've seen in previous Murder, She Wrote as well.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a fun one too. But we are approaching our end. So as we watch these, I'm thinking more and more about our postmortem and how
I
we're
have some
going to
new
be
category ideas too. Yep.
excellent. We're gonna have a 4-hour episode
Really
this time.
Oh God. That's a full day edit.
For now, I'm Victor Devon.
I'm petrified.
And this
was tonight on Murder,
She Wrote.
Ooh. Ooh. Draw me like one of your French girls.
Stabby, stabby.